We have to talk about Ever. The video about the new main story update, Homecoming Wings, will be next, so don't worry Caleb girlies. I just need to get this video out first, because with the release of the new main story, which has so much going on, before I start deep diving and yapping about that, we have to talk about Ever first, because they're literally everywhere. They're involved in so many things, and all the main story branches from all the 3 love interests we have so far, they all point to Ever playing a major role in their personal stories and character arcs. So as per usual, if I miss anything or if you want to add anything, please feel free to have a discussion down in the comments. I read every single comment and I just love talking to each and every single one of you. So from the game's description, Ever is a massive company spanning biotech, aerospace, evil energy, and international trade. In long-awaited revelry, our main character describes Ever as the most prestigious international business group, and they basically run Linkon City. If you play Final Fantasy VII, they give off major Shinra vibes. If you know, you know. So because they've got their hands on literally everything, I'm gonna break this video down into 2 parts: their general influence and how they've impacted each love interest story. So let's talk about their general influence first. Okay, the first one is Xander Sciences. So according to the game, it's a high-end medical institution founded by the late collector Raymond, and it's now acquired by Ever. So we know that Raphael killed Raymond because he was killing Lumerians, and they also tried to recruit Zayne and were involved in shady dealings like research that could affect our main character, and they're turning people into wanderers because they're obsessed with Protocore technology. But I'll get into this more when I talk about Zayne later. And the second one is Gaia Research Center, another facility backed by Ever. Our main character was experimented on here, and it's also where Lumerian cells were subjected to experiments, resulting in the creation of immortalized cells called LCMECs, cardiac microvascular endothelial cells. In plain English, these cells are specialized cells that line the tiny blood vessels in the heart, playing a critical role in cardiovascular health and regeneration. However, based on World Underneath anecdotes, the researchers don't actually know that they are experimenting with Lumerian cells, because it says here that HQ keeps it under wraps. Also, our main character's grandma, Josephine, was a part of this research center, along with the shopkeeper, Philip, the one who made his appearance in long-awaited revelry. The third one, the Raincoats, people who do dirty work forever. And even they themselves aren't sure if they're entirely safe working forever, as they question their safety in this anecdote, how they might become the next target forever because they know too much about Ever. Anyways, they're the ones responsible for the explosion in Bloomshore District, the one who blew up our main character's house. It was said here on World Underneath, and in the same anecdote it was mentioned how they are providing former backtrackers some type of drug. These backtrackers, of course, was a part of Xavier's old time travel team. They've got beef with Xavier, and it's insinuated here that they won't be able to survive without this drug. So the Raincoats are targeting Xavier and ranked Raphael as 6th on their execution list. And the fourth one, the OTTO robots. These adorable bunny-eared robots are a frequent sight during events and photo ops in the game. While they may seem harmless, who can say for sure that they're not being used for surveillance? Because in the game, it's described that they're made by Ever. So Ever could easily utilize OTTOs to monitor Linkon City's citizens, blending charm with covert data collection, and maybe to watch our main character. The fifth one, the abandoned lab in the N109 zone, hints at experiments gone wrong. So in long-awaited revelry, Silas's cryptic comment suggests that he knows the truth behind Ever's actions and their devastating consequences. And with the new main story update, our main character saw the same thing in Skyhaven, what she saw in the N109 zone. More traces of Ever's experiments. And the fifth, Abyssal Chaos. Guys, I just wanted to mention that I'm not the first person to have found this. This person on Reddit also spotted the same thing as me. So I'm definitely not the first one, and I'm not the only one who has spotted this. Well, this isn't outright confirmed to be linked to Ever, but hear me out. One of the first things you'll notice when you enter Abyssal Chaos is the phrase "BB is watching" plastered all over the loading screens. Now this might seem just another cryptic message, but let's actually break it down. If you look up the phrase "BB is watching," you'll find that it's a direct reference to George Orwell's novel 1984, a dystopian novel where the government spies on and controls every aspect of people's lives. In that world, Big Brother is an all-seeing authority that watches everything you do. And guess what? If you search for it, you'll see a ton of eerie eye imagery. Familiar, right? So I picked up on this reference right away because I've got the book. It's really, really good. I really recommend it if you're into this type of genre. Now, Abyssal Chaos is described in the game as the most secretive and powerful dark web platform, created by someone who's really, really skilled. Here's why I think it's Ever. Ever has their hands on everything. Biotech, military tech, and even education. They own research institutions, they own corporations, they even have their branding on Linkon University, the university that our main character went to. And let's not forget the OTTO robots. Those cute little bunny-eared machines we see everywhere, as I said, they could easily be collecting data, tracking people, and feeding information back to them. If this is not the case, then why would the game explicitly said that this is created by Ever? Like, why is this information here? I feel like it's written there in the game because the game wants us to connect it all together, or maybe I'm tweaking, I don't know. I have a feeling that they're using Abyssal Chaos to monitor activity, track threats, and control the flow of information. Because given their history of eliminating people who know too much, it wouldn't be a stretch to say they might be using this platform as another tool in their arsenal. I know some of you might immediately think Big Brother refers to Caleb because he's our main character's adoptive brother and also a massive stalker, but honestly, I don't think it's him. I have gone in depth on his lore, and after seeing the new main story and his myth, my gut is telling me that this is not about him. I think Big Brother, BB, is a straight up Orwell reference to surveillance and control, which makes so much sense because Ever is literally everywhere. But what do you think? Is this foreshadowing Ever's surveillance, or is it something else? Or, hear me out, is this teasing a potential sixth love interest? A hacker guy like Zayne from Mystic Messenger? Okay, I'm joking, but imagine if we get a hacker as our sixth love interest. I know a lot of girlies would love that. Anyways, when I saw this reference, my respect for the writers shot up again. Like, all this for a mobile otome game? Thank you for feeding all of us who are obsessed with this lore, hiding juicy references everywhere like little treats for us to find. And before I move on to their impact on each love interest, one last thing about their general influence we have to talk about: the unicorn connection and Ever's potential reach into the Hunters Association. In World Underneath 6, Sealed in Dust, in their research records about our main character, with Grandma Josephine as the team leader of that research, they were the ones who called the unidentified item in our main character's heart the ether core, and that name is still relevant in the current main story. Now, Josephine's team is called the Unicorn Team, and they also called our main character a mythical creature long sought after and believed to exist only in our imagination, a unicorn. Now, can you tell me, what is our main character's division in the Hunters Association? Unicorn. Dude, what is happening? Am I tweaking? So does Ever also have their hands in the Hunters Association? Guys, I feel like a conspiracy theorist right now, piecing all of this together. Alright, let's talk about Ever's impact on the personal stories of Zayne, Xavier, Raphael, Silas, and Kieran. So for Zayne, he's directly caught in Ever's grasp through Xander sciences. One of his friend, William, turned into a wanderer due to long-term exposure to protofield curves. During his transformation, crystallized thingies started coming out of his skin, and he's not able to control his own body. So Carter, who once worked alongside Zayne, later stole his work on Protocore technology and took it to Xander sciences. Zayne stopped his research on Protocore technology because what he saw eerily resembled what happened to William. This realization led him to stop his research on Protocore technology altogether. Xander sciences and Ever's interest in Zayne continues, and Carter even sees our main character as useful because of her connection to Zayne. Carter was also the main suspect behind the mess that our main character and Zayne had to deal with in his branch. This was where it was explicitly established by the game that the main owner of Xander sciences is now Ever. And not only that, Ever is actively creating monsters. What started as a medical research has turned into something far more dangerous, and Zayne is caught in the middle of it all. For Xavier, the collar of light he wears that pops up sometimes bears Ever's logo. It was established in World Underneath that this is some type of suppressor. But here's what I don't understand, right? He got this collar from way back from his first meeting with our main character, as it was said in his third anecdote. So how the hell did he gain this collar that has Ever's logo on it? Because in the third anecdote, he already has that collar, and the Xavier in the third anecdote is from the future. I just assumed from the anecdote that this collar is from his family. So is Ever connected to his family? My brain hurts. Oh yeah, and also in World Underneath, it was said that this Raincoat guy wants him to become MC's pawn so she can absorb his power. At the end of his main story branch, it was revealed that Soren, someone who is a part of the backtracker that caused him all that trouble, is backed by Ever. Okay, so for Rafayel, he's actively killing members of Ever and made it to their execution list. He's ranked 6th. And his meeting at the nest with this guy that has an Ever logo on his suit might have been an attempt to gather intel, but we don't actually know what he's doing with this Ever guy. And we know that he took out Raymond, the owner of Xander Sciences, because of Ever's atrocities against Lemurians. Xander Sciences was also responsible for creating the radio frequency chips found in Raphael's branch, which can manipulate metaflux fluctuations, something that can summon wanderers. And for Sylus, as the leader of Anakinus, Sylus is caught in a power struggle with people trying to take over his organization. The main person behind this was Sherman, but he wasn't acting alone. It was implied that his loyalty was bought by the Raincoats, the same people who do Ever's dirty work. We already know from World Underneath that the Raincoats were responsible for blowing up our main character's house. So if Sherman was working with them, that means the ones trying to overthrow Sylus were directly backed by Ever. And they also framed Sylus for the 2 explosions in Linkon. And here's the thing, Sylus was missing around the time all this happened, and we still don't know why. Where was he? Why was he out of the picture when everything went down? His disappearance is one of the biggest mysteries right now, and I really hope they explain it in his branch, which I suspect will be the next major update, though I don't know how long we'll have to wait for that, but we just have to be patient, I guess. And now, in the latest main story update, we're seeing more explosions, this time in Skyhaven. This whole situation just makes his story even more intriguing. And finally, Luke and Kieran, Silas's henchmen. Luke and Kieran were also victims of Ever's experiments. Their records describe a transformation within 3 months. In this anecdote, it was said that they narrowly escaped from Ever and nearly succumbed to transformation. The parallels between their condition and the descriptions in the new main story of people transforming into wanderers further reveal Ever's horrifying capabilities and disregard for human life. Okay, so after digging through all this, I have a few final thoughts and just theories. Our main character's connection to immortality and Ever's true goal. So if Ever is deeply involved with backtrackers, and backtrackers have time travel related technology and knowledge, what if they're trying to break the boundaries of life and death? Are they looking for a way to become immortal? Okay, I was in the middle of playing the new Abyssal Chaos, and look what I found. Looks like I'm onto something. They are trying to create immortality. And does our main character hold the key? Her ability to resonate with evil energy is already special, but what if Ever sees her as something much bigger, an anomaly that could keep them control or extend life itself? Is it her resonance ability that they need? Is it the fact that she's able to reincarnate? What if she's a living proof of a successful experiment that they can't replicate yet because they were experimenting on her with Gaia Research Center? If they figure out how she works, does that mean they could potentially manufacture immortality and even rewrite how life and death work? So many pieces of this puzzle don't fit, and I need answers. Okay, this next one is kind of backing up my previous theory, but it's got a connection with Xavier's Philos, the future Philos. So we keep seeing these insane experiments, manipulating wanderers and experimenting with Lemurian cells, Protocore research, and hints at immortality. But what if they've already succeeded? We know from Xavier's Shooting Star Smith that that version of Philos is from the future, where everyone is immortal. And we also know that Philos only came into existence after Earth's demise. So what if Philos immortality was created by Ever, achieving it through Protocore technology? Did they use our main character as their key to unlocking the secret of eternal life? Is that why Xavier said, because I know how this is going to end, that's why I need to keep keep going in his branch. Overall, all the love interests have their own fight with Ever, and everything leads to Ever being the big bad of this game. And like I said, for the FF7 players, they're giving off Shinra vibes. There's still so many unanswered questions, and I feel like all of this is leading up to something massive. The more I dig, the more everything seems connected, and I want to give a round of applause to the writers. From the small details like BB is watching being a reference to Orwell's 1984 to the way every little thing ties together. It's insane how well thought out this game's lore is. Ever isn't just some shady big corporation, they're the big bad of this entire world, pulling the strings behind everything. I really can't wait to see how this all unfolds. And that is the end of this video. Please tune in next week for the next video where I'll be covering Homecoming Wings and diving deep into Caleb's involvement with Ever and the DAA. Give this video a like if you want, and please consider subscribing if you enjoy these type of videos from me. And thank you for watching.